I'm your host, Valerian Dalmeda, and with me is my co host, Rajesh Sikwera. Before we start the show, let's watch Spearhead Media journey in the last 7 years. The Spearhead Media Group, a media house with a difference and making a difference. We aim to do what Ted Williams says, a well-aimed spear is worth three. The company headquartered in Mangaluru on Karnataka's west coast with a mission to engage, enlighten, empower, enable and serve as a beacon of hope and unity for Kannadigas worldwide is doing that successfully for the last 7 years. It is a crowd-funded media company fulfilling a noble mission. From our shareholders to our employees, our mission is to provide the power of the media to those who need it most, the people, and hence the tagline, People's Corporate. Today, all media products of the Spearhead Group have hit their benchmark milestones and are going from strength to strength with your blessings and support. The media brands newskarnataka.com, an English news portal, newskannada.com, a Kannada news portal, are the most loved, trusted, exciting, and preferred news websites to come out of Karnataka in a long time. Why? Because they were born out of passion for the truth and constantly live up to their tagline, Truth Endures. Additionally, there is NK a digital TV channel, NK Plus, a weekly e-magazine dedicated to the youth of Karnataka, Karnataka Today, an English monthly publication, and NK Live, the live streaming platform, all of which have already become the preferred destination for consumers, disseminators of information, and brand builders across the world. Village TV commenced in October 2019, slowly heading in creating jobs by engaging journalism and other faculty students across Karnataka in journalism and video editing, fulfilling the concept Earn While You Learn. NK Digital Training Enablement Services, NKDTES, a e-learning platform born during pandemic, is gaining clientele for training online and skill development. Spearhead Academy of Applied Media Studies, SAMS, is emerging to support the Village TV in creating jobs in journalism and video editing as rural development program. From a humble beginning today, we contribute in a small but powerful way towards promoting positive and ethical journalism, and we stand committed to our mission to engage, enlighten, empower, and enable who need it most, the people. Okay, let's begin the show now. Amazing People, episode 18. Today we have with us three amazing women serving community in their own way. Rajesh will introduce the guest now.
Hello, viewers, and welcome to episode 18 for this amazing people. So, let me take this opportunity to welcome our guest. So, starting with Bibina Pereira, an architect turned accomplished baker, crafter, and quilter. She believes in teaching people to fish rather than giving them fish, involved in women empowerment in the countries she lived and bringing big change in people's life by empowering them to better themselves and their relationships. Shanti Mukherjee, a multitask professional balancing home and work, learned the larger essence of being a mother and giver, seeking help others, conducting awareness of outreach programs for the lesser fortunate. She has also been a part of the Helping Hands group and also helping Cynthia Fernandez in all her ventures.
Right, and Meena Noronna, a law graduate turned special education therapist, initiated a movement of encouraging special moms while living in Dubai for 14 years, volunteering work with special needs children, and currently involved in free online vocational training activities for special needs children in Mangaluru. Welcome to the talk show, Amazing People, episode 18, Bibiana, Shanti, and Meena. Now, what are your first reactions about the show? I start with Bibiana.
Thank you, Valerian and Rajesh, for that introduction and for the opportunity to be here. When I first heard about the show, it was through Shanti, and my first reaction was absolutely not. because I immediately thought my connection with Shanti has been through supporting her with a group that I work with. And there was no way I felt I was the person to be interviewed because I don't head or lead that charity group. But then I had a conversation with Rajesh, and I was on the fence thinking, okay, maybe, but I hadn't made up my mind. Anyway, they moved faster than I knew. And before I knew it, it was too late to say no. So here I am.
All right. Thank you. And I go to Shanti. Unmute. Unmute. Yeah. Okay.
Hi, and good evening to you all, the wonderful people currently watching us live. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my works on this vast platform. Well, I least expected to be selected to share my journey and reach out to people through this medium, which is currently, growing at fast pace. Again, same as Viviana said, initially it was a no, but then Rajesh convinced me, and here I am.
All right. And going to Meena.
Thank you, News Karnataka. Thank you, Valerian, and thank you, Rajesh, for inviting me on this show. It's an honor to be interviewed on this channel, especially Karnataka being my birthplace. It's a proud moment for me. I'm very humbled that you chose me to be invited on this wonderful show of yours. I take this opportunity to also raise awareness for our special needs community, which is very much lacking in Mangalore, especially. As of now, hope through this connection with News Karnataka and all your groups, we could raise more awareness and empower our special needs community. Thank you once again.
Right. Thank you, Viviana, Meena, and Shanti for that first reaction. And over to Rajesh.
Okay, Viviana, let me start off with you. Tell me, what is the secret behind choosing the title wife, mother, daughter, friend, and architect for the show today under your title? Is it something regarding Women's Day which is approaching?
No, the first is there's no secret, and second is there's no attachment to Women's Day.
Okay.
For me, being a wife, a mother, a daughter, a sister, a friend, and a counselor, they are the most important things in my life. Because through these roles that I play, I touch people's hearts. I connect with them. I build relationships. And for me, nothing can be more important than that. So it has nothing to do with Women's Day. When I stopped to think, I quit a job 25, 26, maybe 27 years ago. I quit my career. And it was for these very reasons that relationships are important to them, to me. And when I stopped to think of what would I put, you asked me for a profile, you asked me for a CV. I don't have one for I don't know how many years. And I realized these were the most important things. I mean, being a wife, being a spouse for me is very, very important. Being a mother, because I went through the usual thing of, career, trying to balance both, being on a guilt trip, and then having to choose. And I chose because I believed motherhood is a vocation. And I stopped to think, I was a child, I have been a child. What was the most important thing for me? For me, it was having my parents having a great relationship. And if we all stop to think, we'll realize that is what we all desired as children. And why are our children different? They desire the same thing. So having parents who are absolutely in love and have a great relationship, and that transfers to your home, having a home that is filled with kindness, love, peace. These were the things I wanted. And I realized that this is far, far more important and would fill my heart more than any career could. And because I made a choice to choose, I decided, I made that choice. That may not be everybody's choice. But because I had decided that I don't want to be on this guilt trip, I am going to choose, I made that choice. And it's there for that reason. It has nothing to do with Women's Day.
Right,
Perfect.
right. Wonderful. That is why we wanted to know. That is the power, viewers. That is the power of a girl child or a woman. And that has been strongly, fiercely said by Viviana. And the relationship are more important in this life
I have
than
always,
anything else.
yeah,
Yes.
Valerian, I have always believed that I'm not raising just my children, I'm raising the next generation.
Right. Yeah, great. These thoughts are, I'm sure, helpful for all the viewers. That's why we are here to showcase the less known people to the world, and we want to know their views, how they think life is. And we move on to Shanti. Mumbai to Dubai in 1997. Tell us your story of balancing your job and family in Dubai.
Well, to sound stereotype, nothing that is worth have come easily in life, and giving up is not an option. Absolutely, the wisdom of these words didn't come early in life, but keeps me going as my mojo. It's like a magical spell for me. After college, abroad meant only Dubai. I think this is for mostly all we Bombay-eyed, so I don't know what you call it. But then I joined my dad in December 1997 and started the job hunt. Thankfully, back then, it was an easy hunt for me. And a big thank you to my dad, Eddie Vegas, for helping me with his contacts and friend circles. As I started working around, the luxury of a car, a house, all this dawned into me. Still being a growing city then, Dubai was, of course, not, as it is today. Then it showed me people staying in labor camps, these small accommodations, toiling in the heat and construction sites and struggling with basic necessities for their daily needs and to provide for their families back home. These things made me think, how blessed I am, but I didn't know how to help much being a newcomer to the new city. Life was very easygoing then. I got married in 2005 and a new exciting adventure started. My husband, Sudhir Mukherjee, is a true supporter and my best friend too. Alongside made many new friends, we found new close bondings and new networking began. So, and this is how then I started doing things for the less fortunate.
Right.
Perfect.
Okay. Yeah.
Very nice, because I've seen Shanti very actively involved in many things, and being a Helping Hands group, she's always there, to post all the jobs, which is really helping many people. Well, let me go to Meena now. Well, Meena, practicing lawyer, NCC, rock climbing, and special education therapist, and 14 years volunteer work with special needs children in Dubai. Why and how you started all this?
For me, the journey started when I was doing my BSc in St. Agnes College. I was adventure sports lover. I was into NCC Irving. I did aero modeling. I had my glider pilot license. I used to go rock climbing. I have done advanced course, and I used to love that. So when I got married in 1997, I had to choose. I was practicing advocate after doing my law, and then I moved to Saudi to join my husband there. And there it was again a choice between career and home. I was teaching for a couple of years, but then 1997, our firstborn son was born. He at the age of 3 years he was diagnosed with autism, and that's when all our dreams and everything collapsed. We had to start thinking all over again because he was diagnosed with autism, with mental retardation. And at that time we didn't know what was autism at all. We had to Google, and that time there was not much of Google, not much of knowledge, no support, and it was more of everybody used to hide if their child was special needs. And all these it was a taboo subject when you had a special needs child. You never used to bring them out in the society. And when I moved to Dubai, it was a very good place with special needs children. The government in Dubai is very, very supportive. It's very, forthcoming. It helps your special needs children. We never needed to hide. And later on, my husband and my daughter, who are the biggest support for me, my husband, Leslie Norona, has been always there beside me as a strong backbone. He gave me the choice of being a career person or a homemaker. We both jointly decided that I needed to be the primary caregiver for my son. So I stopped all my work, and full time I became a mother, a homemaker, and especially the primary caregiver for my autistic son. And my daughter, she's in second year engineering now. She's another, very, very strong pillar for me, who has been the biggest support in my journey. And when in Dubai, we thought when we were giving, special education therapies for my son, it was very difficult. It is very, very expensive. Believe me, the normal education is 10 times cheaper than special education. And when you go for therapies, medicals, it is really expensive. That time I thought, I should empower myself. I should train myself to become a therapist wherein I could help my son and I could help thousands others. And I was part of many special needs support group there, especially called SFS, Special Family Support Group. And we used to have a wonderful time because there's a lot of support there for special needs. And through my education, special education course, I became a therapist and I started helping my son at home. So I could train him better. I could help others, counsel other families, and empower them more and more. That's the journey from my being an advocate, being adventure sports. I moved to special needs stream. And here I am a proud mother of my 23-year-old autism son, who's really my pride.
Right. I think for the viewers' knowledge, we have 3 women who are really lovely homemakers. This is where I think the beginning is home. And at home, everything happens. The love, relationship, sharing, caring. And this is what the message I think all our 3 guests are giving to the world and to the viewers, that home is the first and primary place where we have to nurture and care and share. With this note, let's take a break now, and we'll be back in a short while. Quick Accounting and Advisory LLC, Abu Dhabi. Accounting is the bloodline of your business. We provide accurate and timely accounting with day-to-day reports on cash flow, profit and loss, and balance sheet. You do business and leave accounts to us. We will manage it for you. Call Quick Accounting and Advisory LLC at +971 507123 965 or visit www.quickaa.com today. Quick Accounting for perfect business. Okay, back to live again. My question goes to Bibiana now. Shutting door of lucrative job and switching to homemaker, baker, crafter, and quilter. Share your experience of life in 4 countries and 15 homes.
Yes, like I mentioned earlier, I shut that door to just to get off being on a constant guilt trip. And I had to choose between 2 to do that. And I made the choice of what was more important to me. When I shut it, I didn't know what I was embarking on. I had no plan. I had no idea. All I knew was that at that time we had just 1 child. And I knew that at between 0 to 4, I was aware that children's minds are like sponges. They learn and observe whatever and everything that's around them. And I knew that I wanted to be the person filling and letting that sponge absorb what it was getting. I didn't want it to come from other people. I wanted it to come from me and my husband, our family. So, and then from 1 child, we had 2, and then we had 3. So life got filled. I was busy. My initial connection began with their school and their church. And I found these are the places my social circle started developing. And that's where I got involved with other people. So I got involved with craft groups because that's what I love. I love to do things with my hands. I like to knit. I like to sew. So anything that, and I'm a people person. I love being with people. So anything that allowed me to be with people, I joined those groups. And through these groups, I learned how to quilt. I learned how to decoupage. I learned mosaic, anything. I would just get involved because it was the great company and I was enjoying what I was doing. So basically, I would say we lived in Oman for 10 years. Before that, we were in the Fiji Islands for 6 months. Another learning experience. We were a young married couple with a 6-month child in a new country, far away from home, not knowing anyone. And in those days, there was no internet. So it was, I would write a letter home on an inland letter and just receive mail back. So, it was really trying to find your identity and build your confidence as a person in a relationship, as a spouse, and as a woman and as a mother. Fast forward, we moved to Oman. I think, again, I was learning. I was in my 30s. I kept learning from people, and I was grateful for every opportunity I had, because every experience was a learning experience with people. Then we moved to Nairobi. We were there. So we lived in Oman, Kuwait, and Dubai, and then moved to Nairobi. I think by the time we got to Nairobi, it was 2009. I had 3 kids, one in elementary school, one in middle school, one in high school. Life was absolutely busy. I still remember them asking me whether I lived at school, because I had to be there for elementary school parent-teacher conference, middle school, and high school. My husband and me we had a home. Our home was right next door to school. When people used to joke and say, "Do you have a home?" I would say, "No, I camp out on the school grounds." But I got involved, and through getting involved in the school, I eventually volunteered. I mean, I was treasurer on the PTA, and then I took up the role of handling the International Food Festival. For me, that was a massive accomplishment, running an event with over 700 people attending. Of course, the best part for me was making the floor plan. That's the architect in me. I was thrilled to be given that job, because it's something that I do, I love to do, and I enjoyed it. We had a small church community. I got involved there. My children were in need of catechism. They were in need of catechism teachers. I volunteered. I taught catechism, and the joy it brought me was immense, because it honestly, as a catechism teacher, it builds your faith. And that's all that you're teaching your children, passing on faith to them. And then what Africa taught me, something that I had in all my years in India never really learned. I stepped into a slum for the first time in my life. And that got me thinking, why had I never done this before? And I got involved with a project that initially started as setting up a school for slum children. But slowly I kind of got sidetracked from that along with another quilter friend, teaching 8 women to sew and build a business through sewing. We taught them the skill, and then we had to teach them how to take it to the fairs, because I really, truly, there were loads of people who come to Africa. They come, they teach, they give of their time, but when they leave, that business collapses. And for me, I was very, very clear that this should sustain them, especially without me, because I knew my time there was limited. I was not going to be there forever. So they need to be able to continue. And it makes me proud to say that today, these 8 women, all these photographs that you see in the background, they run a business. They don't work as housemaids, but they are business women now, selling their own products in premium stores in Nairobi. So that for me was absolutely wonderful. And then moving from Nairobi again back into Dubai, into this glitzy town. And I'm thinking, in Dubai, you don't see old age, you don't see poverty. Where am I going to do? Why has God put me here? What is my opportunity to serve? And soon I found that. I got my answer. It took me 2 years. But today, my husband and I run the marriage preparation course at the Jebel Ali Church. Because a spousal relationship to us is very, very important, the base of a family unit. And in being able to share our journey to people who are just at the start of their journey, it gives us great joy to see them and have these conversations with them. I also got involved with the counseling group at church. Again, this came through my years in Nairobi, where I found sitting down and having conversations with women brought me joy. And when I think about it today, that is what the world lacks: time to give other people. Everything, life is so fast paced. We want a job, we want a career, we have all these desires and wants, that these simple joys of just sitting down and having a conversation is something that is forgotten. And for me, that brought me joy, and other people felt blessed by it. So I took the opportunity. Again, direction comes from above. A counseling course became available, counselor training course. I did the course, I trained, and I now work with people again through the church. Anyone who is struggling with a relationship, I am happy to sit and have a conversation and spend that time with them. I am also involved with a group called Rags to Riches, and that's how I connected with Shanti. It's a long story, but in a nutshell, what we do is I don't lead it, I'd like to say that. I am part of it and I help in whatever way I can. We take donations of fabric from anyone who has excess fabric, and we make clothes. So we take donations of fabric, wool. So we make clothes, all the pictures that you see in the background, we knit, and we then send them through people to third world countries. So if someone's traveling from here and says, you know what, I'm taking a group of people to go somewhere in Africa, or say Tanzania, and we're going on a trek, we are allowed 2 bags. I need only 1 bag. There's another bag with 20 kgs free. We're 10 of us. We have 200 kilos. Can you give us some things? We'll go and visit an orphanage. Yes, we're ready. So we do clothes. And another big thing that we do is we have a program called Angel Wings, where we make washable sanitary napkins. And it's sustainable for the environment. It allows girls to go to school in regions where they don't go to school because at the time when they have their periods. And that program has really become big for us. COVID has put a brake on it, but because people don't travel and we can't send our stuff now, but we've improvised. Rags to Riches has improvised. So if you go on Facebook, look up Rags to Riches, you'll find the story.
Wow, that's a wonderful narration of your journey in 4 countries and 15 homes, and what you did for the women to be empowered by themselves and run their own business. And viewers, here is the lady who tells you, follow your conscience and spirit leads you. Right, Viviana?
Sorry, absolutely. God provides direction.
Right,
You
right.
listen.
So
That's it.
By the way, Valerian, when we had a chat with Viviana, the story was such interesting. I said I will leave everything later on for our show. You know, that was a good thing, which she shared a whole thing. Another thing, Viviana, when you see all these pictures, it is going to give you a flashback, and when you see this same video, you will remember the good times what you had and what you did. You know, that is a nice thing which you are to be remembered of.
Of course.
Well, I'll go to Shanti now. Shanti, giving brings more joy than receiving. How will you explain this? And you jumping into charity work.
Well, I don't know if you remember, I'm sure all remember, but recession hit in 2008. And that is the time I came across an iconic lady, for many in UAE, of course, who all know her, Cynthia Fernandez. Now I call her Auntie Cynthia. And her marvelous works. Her selfless nature really inspired me. And many whom I know too spoke about her, her kind deeds, the way she helps people, the way she helps with jobs, and she reaches out. Well, then my kids were small, and these things were very impressive and felt good. But devoting time was challenging. I started off taking baby steps, and along the way with my 3 children, family, job, I learned the larger essence of being a mother, a giver, and putting others' needs before me, rather. When I fell short on time, goods, and finances, I spread the word around to my family, my friends, my colleagues, and all the people around me, just to raise awareness of the outreach programs for the less fortunate. Just basic needs like, a festival meal for the laborers, daily food and clothing needs, food and childcare items for the kids in orphanages, job opening notifications, which all of you have received by now, to people who are searching for livelihood, basic grooming kits for labor camps across UAE are some of the year-round initiatives I take up.
All right. All right.
Well, Valerian, I think so. It's time that we should get the family on board. Can we
Yeah.
have Bibiana's family there if they are nearby? Your
Sorry, Rajesh. I can hear Richard doing some woodwork on the balcony. So
Okay,
unless
okay.
I leave and call
That
him,
means, that means we have to focus the camera there then. Okay.
Okay.
So can we have Shanti's family there? Is Shanti there?
Yeah, she's coming. Yeah.
Okay. I think so.
Shanti, can you unmute?
Yeah.
Yes. I will get you all my family.
Yes.
Perfect. Yeah.
Family is the big resource for
I
all
have
of
a
us.
very big resource and backbone,
Yes.
my support.
Yes.
This is my mom.
Yeah. Okay.
Here.
Yeah. If they can bend a little. Yes. How are you? All.
All good, all good.
Very good. Very good. I cannot see the little one there.
I will show you. That's my husband,
Yes.
Sudhir.
Yes. Yeah.
This is my
Hi.
daughter, my gorgeous special needs daughter, Shanessa.
Okay. All right. Thank
And
you.
This is my elder daughter, Samaira.
All right. Hello. Nice meeting you.
This is Shanaika, my second one.
Okay. Nice
And-
meeting you.
And these are my godchildren. These are all the children who help me in all my works.
Okay.
Say great hi. That's great. I involve
Hi.
all of them in my works. They come with me to labor camps to distribute everything. So they are always there with me.
Okay.
And Chantel,
Great supporter. Your great supporter. Where is he?
my great supporter. That's Marush. Okay, that's my great supporter. My husband, my best friend.
Hi,
Yeah. Hi. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Yeah. We are proud of your wife who is doing a human service to the community.
Indeed, thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you for coming in and being with us for a while.
Thank you, sir. Thank
Thanks.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Is Bibiana's husband there or is still cutting there?
I'll have to leave the screen and go because he's out on the terrace.
It's fine. It's fine.
That's okay. I can call him.
That's okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. We can go. Meena. Go ahead, Valerian.
Yeah. Okay. Now coming to Meena, super special moms in Dubai. What was the objective and how did you achieve this?
So I'm a special mom, but I would like to call us all the special moms as super special moms, because I would say you never know how strong you are until being strong is your only choice. So as a special mother, we don't have any choice. We have to be super special, strong, super special patient, super special loving, super special everything. So, this was a group when I started in Dubai. It was a group created with a vision to form a network of special need mothers wherein we could all come together, share, learn, and support one another. Because mother, most of the time, is the primary caregiver of a special needs child. She gets drained of her energy, drained of time, drained of patience, she really has nowhere to go to. Whereas when it's a special need father, he goes out to work because he has to. He meets people, he's busy with his work, so his mind get distracted. And the siblings too, they have their studies, they have their college friends. But the mother, most of the time, she has to give up her work. She has to be with the child. It's 24/7 duty. There is no break, no rest. Sometimes you go sleepless nights. So, the mothers, which I found across Dubai, they were going through a bad state. We had wonderful support groups for our families as such. We had good activities for special needs children. But when I saw mothers, they wanted somebody to talk to lean on, to cry on somebody's shoulders. So this thought came across and I just put it across to few other mothers and we said, why not? Let's all get together and do something which we always wanted to do, or just sit and relax. That's when 3.5 years back, our super special group was born. Here, what we used to do is we used to meet up mothers, just sit, have tea, relax. Sometimes we used to have one dish. Sometimes we used to just go out, order something, share, and just talk. Nothing about special needs, just about ourselves or about, you can say little bit of gossip, little bit of recipe exchange, just to relax our mind. And we used to be happy, I would say a happy mother makes a happy home. We bring that happiness back to our home, and when our house is happy, our special needs children improve. That's what I believe in. When we go out, we meet friends, it's very difficult for special need families to have friends unless you have very supportive, your cousins, relations. It's very difficult. A special needs child doesn't have friends at all unless the sibling is a very good. And I'm very lucky that my daughter is a best friend for my son. But as a special need mother, I found, my college mates and all, even though they are there, they don't understand the difficulty as a special need mom goes through. I think Shanti is there. She knows she's a special need mom too. We can't share our problems, even though, everybody says, oh, you're so lucky. God has blessed you with the special needs. It's not about luck. It's we have to grow up to that challenge and then we become special needs parents. So it becomes very difficult. Sometimes we don't have people to talk to. Sometimes we can't confide, with our husbands because they're already tired from work and then they have to care, take turns with the special needs child. And we really were stressed out. So this was an opportunity to get together all the special need moms. We used to go for picnics and, we used to have one best thing which happened out of this was we made very good friends. Now it is 1.5 years I left Dubai, but still, I have the best friends in my super special moms. We are still in touch. We have still virtual meetings with our moms, only moms, no dads involved, no siblings, no special needs children too. We need that little bit of break, I feel, not believe after so many years, we were all in our 40s and around 50s, we went on stage, the super special moms on stage. We went on the embassy, Indian embassy consulate stage. We went on the global village. We went into so many college concerts, school concerts, invited us to perform Millennium School or even the Manzil concerts. We all performed. We mothers, you can imagine, all into, we have not stepped on stage for maybe 25 to 30 years and we are performing. We are dancing. We are, doing skits, singing. And that brought us so much joy, Of course, we were not that perfect in our dancing. You can imagine, mother, after so many years, you go on the stage, you can't compete with the youngsters and all. But that brought us joy. And that joy automatically spread into our families, into our special needs. And we became stronger mothers. We became stronger ladies. We became strong. Our faith became strong. Our happiness became strong. So that all showed in our work, in our support. And through this dance and drama, we started creating awareness for special needs. We created dramas, we created dance to showcase the special needs children that it is nothing to be, ashamed about. It's something to be proud about. If you have a special needs child, it's okay. We can live life to the fullest. We don't care about what society says. We will live. We will be proud of our children, whatever the problem has. And that's what the super special moms was about. And now since 1.5 years, I've come down to Mangalore. And here I'm very happy and proud to say I have carried this here also. And just last month, we had our first super special moms meeting here. And I would say Mangalore, it was very difficult, to ask them to come meet, here. There's so much of social stigma where, everybody waits through what will others think. That is the best, I found my own support group here. It's called Special Parents Support Group in Mangalore, wherein we have parents from around Mangalore and Karnataka around and few from other parts, wherein we share and, or, there are fathers, there are mothers. But, I was trying to get these mothers together and I was, successful along with one more mother, Naina, was successful in creating one meeting wherein 15 mothers from around Mangalore came. And that was, I would say, it was the beginning of another super special moms chapter in Mangalore. And hope it goes, further. That's the journey of super special moms.
Okay. Okay, wonderful. Woman is a powerhouse. We can hear from you and how courageous and strength she has got to make up her home along with everybody supporting her. What you said is wonderful. When you go out and whatever, little chatting and sharing recipes and all those things bring joy to you, and coming back home with that joy, it's a wonderful thought that you are sharing with us as well as with the viewers. And viewers, here is Meena Nooruna for you, who through her life has become a visible person, how a special needed child can be brought up, and by learning herself and throwing into that particular area, today she is helping other moms and other people to come together and share and take out this stigma from the society. It's wonderful to have such people around us, and so the society can be improved, the thoughts can be changed. And let's go to Bibiana, Rajesh.
Okay, 1 minute. Before that, before I go to Bibiana, I can have Meena's family.
Meena's
there.
family, yes,
Yes, yeah.
yeah.
My husband has come today early because I made request for him.
Okay.
I know he's a great supporter.
Hi, Leslie.
Leslie,
Hi, good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
a very active person.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for having
Yeah.
me on your
Yes,
wonderful
you're
program.
most welcome. Hi
And
there. How are you?
Alvin,
Yeah.
he is the superpower of our house.
Yeah, behind you.
My daughter Khalifa, she's
Super power behind you, Ayman.
yes, she's again my biggest
Right.
support, the strongest pillar, and the best friend my son could have, the best daughter I could have. She's presently doing second year engineering. She's
Hi.
here. Everyone, hello.
Hi. Yeah.
Very good.
Nice seeing you after a long time.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And thank you for coming in. Yes.
So,
Thank you.
Have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
now
you.
it's time that I get Bibiana's family there, and I'm going to ask a question. Bibiana, can I have your family there?
Yes, I have.
Yes, I can.
Oh, that's it. Mr. Richard, how are you?
At last he made it.
Yes, got him from the woodworking that he was doing. I could hear that drill in the background.
How are you?
I'm good. Thank you, Valerian.
Thank
to see
you.
Rajesh.
Thank you.
Yeah, so
We
this
heard
is
a
the-
lot of your journey together, and she mentioned that you are the pillar of strength for her.
Yeah, he's
Actually, it's mutual.
I know.
Absolutely. She is
I know.
she's the rock of our family, and
Yeah.
without her, we would be nothing. Absolutely. Yeah.
Again, it's a teamwork as me and Rajesh are doing. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Great. Nice to see you. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, Bibiana, so let me ask you the question now. How will you shape all your experiences to serve the community more than what you have done already?
sorry, Rajesh.
Well, how will you shape up all your experience? You have so much of experience what you have. So how will you shape up to serve the community more than that you have already done? You want to do more or something like that, you know?
You know
Okay.
why that question, Bibiana? Because now you have come for the first time and being showcased to the world. I'm sure your responsibility adds up now.
I guess so. But yeah, at every point, like we said, we've moved so many countries. We moved because of work for Richard. I love moving. I'm a nomad at heart. And every time we moved, I've always asked the question, why has God put me here? There's some purpose that I have to serve. Today, we are empty nesters. All our children are adults. Our youngest is 20. We have 3 children. Our eldest daughter, Zanita, is 27. Our son Jared is 23, and our youngest daughter, Aritha, is 20. They've all left home. Aritha is still studying. The older 2 are working. But they're living their lives. They're independent. We're proud of the adults that they've become. So for me, the question was, when we got to Dubai, I knew in 4 years' time, our youngest would no longer be home. So it was, what next? What is God calling me to do? And like I shared, the counseling work I'm not a counselor. I'm not a trained counselor because I haven't done the number of years of studying psychology and getting a degree and a master's degree and then probably a PhD if I needed to practice. But I helped the pastoral care support team. And because we don't come with a manual to know how to be a mother or how to work with relationships with people. And it's the closest relationships that we struggle with the most. And often, just by talking to somebody, we ourselves find our own answers. And that's what I do. I mean, and then after having done that, it is something that brings me joy, but it is also something, I must admit, that scares me to the core, because there is no right way of doing something. My most recent
Just to
experience.
interrupt you, Bipina. Tell me one thing. If you had done a course on psychology or something like that, would it help you out? Do you feel that that was missing for you now at this stage?
Yes, it helps me definitely understand human behavior. I read continuously. I am a part of a team that every twice a month we get together to either share a case study or share a theory that we discuss together. Because of Zoom, we're 15, 20 people on on that platform across the world. Most of them there are qualified counselors and psychologists. But they've invited people like us. In fact, I run that platform. I do all the admin work for it, and keep it going. So yes, the learning has definitely helped. It definitely makes me more aware. It's definitely given me better skills. It's taught me how to listen more and talk less. It's taught me how not to give advice, because that's not what people need. What they need is to hear and come to their own decision and their own conclusion. So I have definitely learned, I've definitely got better skills from there. But it is always a scary journey because you're dealing with people's lives. I mean, I can share with you the most recent experience where I had a person come to me with struggling with their marriage, and he says he hasn't had a conversation with his wife for 2 years. He's here, she's in another country. And my first question to him was, what are you hoping to achieve by coming to see me and our conversation? And he was very clear, I want to save my marriage. I said, okay, so I have only you here. I don't have your wife. She's in another place. She's not ready to come. Are you prepared to embark on this journey and stop the blame game? And, I am here to empower you. So knowing at that point, initially I listened. I spent about 6 hours listening. And then after that, I realized I needed to push. But it was always a fear knowing how far to push. So for me there, I believe faith comes in, because I'm going with my gut feeling. I'm going with what I have learned. There is no magical formula. But the joy it brings when you know you've made a difference and someone is able to fix something that was on the verge of breaking, I cannot express in words what that means, honestly.
I feel your experiences now actually has counted in this, right?
My experience, yes, it has helped, because I've learned not just from my journey, but from all the friends' journeys that I have shared. Yes, definitely. Life experience has definitely brought me. That's why it says, I can truly say I had no plan, but by the grace of God, I've got the experience that I've got, and that's a gift.
Yeah. Viviana, very, very nice to hear that. For your information, I'm a certified counselor from EOSA, that is, our vicariate.
Yes.
And I've been approached by many, I've counseled many. I know what exactly is happening in the lives of people when they go through, numerous problems. I know it, and you're doing a wonderful work, really. And of course, training helps the counselors to, how to empathize and empower them. We are not here to, we are not solution providers, but we make them to come up on their own with the solutions. That's how we, and in that we have something like 5WH, which we are, 5W, why, what, and when, and 1H, which is how. I'm just sharing when you said counseling. So that's for your knowledge. We will move on. And I add on to your saying that there is a saying that life is meaningless, but we have to give a meaning to the life. So viewers, here are three special women giving meaning to their lives and bringing us so many things out of their life to share, so that we can take the good points from them. So let's take a break and we'll come up after a break.
Regal Storage Systems. Please contact us for intelligent storage solutions for archive, museums, warehouse, and shopping malls. Contact us at PO Box 51098, Abu Dhabi, UAE. Telephone number 971 2672 8062. Also visit our website www.regalstoragesystems.com.
Okay, back to live again, and I come straight away to Shanti. Shanti, give a little back to the world. Give a little back to the world. We can make difference. How will you carry this slogan in future? That is your slogan or the slogan in general? You are mute.
Yes, that is hi. Thanks. That is my slogan, of course. I wouldn't call it charity. I just feel that we are also truly blessed with things we have. We need to realize we are blessed, not lucky. You know, we teach small things to children like sharing is caring, but we forget to practice this as adults. Count your blessings is taught to us. I would like to change that to share your blessings and leave the counting for others, which can help more, I guess. Today's generation is blessed with social media as a platform to reach out to the world. We can really reach out to the less fortunate in so many ways. If each person takes a few minutes, to make small helpful gestures, we will put a few smiles on sadly faces. Giving brings a lot more joy than receiving. I've experienced it, and the feeling can't be expressed in words. Whilst all to join their hands in prayers to the Almighty, if the same two hands also open up to support two others, the Almighty God, I'm guessing, will be more happier than us. Well, it's philosophy, but would like to see it practiced around more.
Right. Yes, it is, Rajesh. It is always said, we are here, we have come to serve, not to be served, right? And that's what Shanti is trying to say us. And more of it is, when we share, because I have to say nothing but to say that we are blessed to share and distribute. This is why, yeah. Yes, Rajesh.
Yeah, and we are really blessed to have these three people on board.
Right.
They are sharing their experiences.
Exactly.
We are gaining some experiences, and our viewers are also getting some experiences.
I'm sure, yes.
Perfectly well. Well, I'm going to Meena now. Parenting special needs awareness through virtual meetings. How will you continue, and what you want from our parents, from the people?
Okay, when I came to Mangalore 1.5 years back, I was going around searching for a center for my special needs son. And I think I went to all corners of Mangalore. I couldn't find someone who could take him. There were some centers who would not take autism child because they have behavior issues or mood swings, or there was some center which would not take above 18, above 20. And I think I must have knocked on every center, and I couldn't find anything. That's when Bangalore group approached me to do a webinar on parenting special needs. I took that opportunity because I wanted to create an awareness, especially in a Mangalore community. People are very, very scared to come out. They always have that, we don't want anybody to know we have a special needs child. They're always hiding. They don't want to come out and say. So that's what I thought, it was a very good opportunity for me to spread the word. And we have so many government facilities which we are not availing. So I thought this webinar would be a very good opportunity to bring about some awareness. So once this started, there were people, queries from all over coming in, and I made a WhatsApp group for special parents. And through this, we started, trying to connect with each other, parents mainly from Bangalore, Mangalore, Udupi, or any other areas around Karnataka. Then some approached me from North India. We were not seeing any, no religion, no caste. It was only our religion, our caste, everything was special needs. So we formed a group. And now it is we have around 50, 55 families. And it's very active group where we are, sharing, we are, learning from each other. And that time I thought, I needed to do something more because I had an adult son. He needed to be part of something. So I had this vision always to start a vocational center for special need young adults. But when I was, throwing this idea around families, I couldn't get that much support. And then COVID struck. But seeing these all online classes going on give me an idea, why not do something online? Especially for those children, who are at home, who are not attending centers. And during COVID, I think most of the centers were closed. And especially young adults like my son, they cannot read, write. They need to express themselves through other ways, through their creativity. We think sometimes, our child can't do it, but sometimes we are very surprised. That's my, would be to all parents who have, especially sometimes your children will surprise you. You think they do not know, but you try everything with them. So that's when this idea of a virtual meeting started. Of why don't we do vocational training through online platform? I, along with two of my very good friends, Hira and Vidya, we thought, we discussed ideas, and we thought, let us do some simple craft art. Then I got hold of one baker from Bangalore, Firdaus, who also has a special needs daughter. And I have another friend, Naina. All special needs parents came together with this idea of doing vocational training from home. We made some ideas, all ideas came across through me, and then I used to break them down in steps which the special children could understand. The only what we wanted was the parent should be sitting, because it was virtual. We didn't know, the child could harm, or if the child has epilepsy, because we were using scissor, or we were cooking or baking. So we wanted the parent to be sitting, and it was a free session. I wanted it to be a free session because I know as a special needs parent how difficult it is, how expensive these things are. So, it was something to give back to the society. And when I needed most, I couldn't find some platforms like this. So I thought, when I'm teaching my son, why don't I help other parents with special needs? So this journey of online vocational training program started around, now it is my 5th month into that. And now we are doing 3 to 4 days of 1.5 hour sessions. We do art, craft, baking, cooking, gardening. Recently we did a gardening session with water, without soil planting. And now I think every family of us has tomato plants growing. We have, sprouts, all salads are going, and we are making simple dishes. Our children have become experts in pizza making, cake making. And in that also baking, we are looking for options like which is gluten free, or, which alternative flours which we can use. So these all discussions are done with the special needs parents or the volunteers. Now I'm happy that, few other volunteers joined me. We are hoping to have more sessions now. So we are working on, things which the children can do it easily from home. And my vision again is to have a virtual exhibition of our children's crafts and arts. On Facebook, we have started a page called Super Special Youth Vocational Training. And we want everybody to share through News Karnataka. I hope, this spreads to others, that you like that page, and, you see the children are capable of doing such lovely things. They're like masterpieces, and they're able to cook. They're able to, do planting, do so many things. So in the near future, I have this, I'm planning with some youngsters to start to have a virtual exhibition of the crafts and arts that children did. So once that finishes, we hope to train our children to do all these things at home, like envelope making, paper bag making, crafts, art, with jute, with the bottle painting, all these things, so that they have a skill of their own. Tomorrow they need to earn. It may not be a big thing, for them survival skills. They're not able to read, write. They can't, we know, they can't go to offices unless, of course, you are very well, qualified. You're able to speak well. So you need to teach them something to do at home. You need to keep the brain active, to their hands active, so that, they don't become hyper, so they don't become lazy, So we started these skills. So now we are going to make these in bulk, give them practice, so that they, better and better products are formed. And one day, hopefully, we'll have the Graha Udyoga. Like that, with our special needs children, we can do some products at home, and it will be spread throughout, that our children can make, and it will be, we'll showcase to all the society that these products our special needs children have been making, and everyone will be proud of that fact. So want to create awareness with Karnataka, please, that, are capable of doing much more, much more.
Sure, you have shared such a wonderful idea, and the work that you have already embarked on and we would like to focus on the activity of that you are doing. What is that you are showing? The
This is
craft?
what our children have been making. I'll just
Yes.
show you a few things. These
Yeah.
are cocoa flowers we have, our children have made.
Yeah.
This is the bottle painting. This is the craft and art, with the simple Pringles box, they have made these.
Yeah.
Then this is the flower frame which our youngsters have made. The sun catchers we have been making. So we have made these photo frames. So all these things are with simple things like craft art. And hope Viviana can see this because she's into
Yes.
a lot of this. So she
Yeah.
can maybe help us out. We are just doing it in a small scale. So
Yeah.
we are doing all these things, with simple cardboard, foil, embossing, all simple craft and art activity.
Yeah.
Actually, after the show, we are coming to know so many people, their activities. Last week, week before that, we had Cynthia who had, spoken about this wonderful things what she was doing, and what we are doing is connecting people. When they're seeing the shows, they get connected to each other. They share their ideas. That's a good thing about this platform, I can say. And in the same way, we will try and help whatever we can do on this platform.
Yes,
Viewers, please note
Meena,
that.
Meena, that's where I will call this not Graha Udyoga. I will cap it as a startup.
Yeah.
All right. So we will call it as a startup by the special needs children, and we will showcase this startup through News Karnataka. And we have done that. We have done that in the past for many such organizations or such groups, and we will be backing you. Whatever activities or shows, exhibitions, or anything that you do, please let us know, and we will have it captured through our media. Surely.
Thank you very much.
Yes, and now I think we are coming to the last question. But one thing I must tell you, listening to all three of you, I get reminded that everyone is born on a mission. Everyone is born on a mission, and God has put us in always in a right place. So this is for sure, and that's what I think. And He has put me in a place to talk to you today. And what is your call to support News Karnataka, and why? This is the last question. What is your call to support News Karnataka, and why? I will start with Viviana.
Before I answer your question, I would like to say hats off to Meena and Shanti, both of you with a special needs child. You are super, super mom, honestly. I know what it is to raise a normal children. I bow down to both of you with special, you need a whole lot of patience. The call with News Karnataka uses the power of media to reach to people who need it the most. And for me, that is, today has been an opportunity. You've given me that opportunity to reach out and let people know, never ever say I'm just a housewife, because honestly, you play a much bigger role. And each and every one of the women out there. So this would be my call to, you guys have this medium to be able to reach out to people in the villages through different programs. And there are a lot of people, women there, who especially think that, what do I do? Well, being at home, you do not just a small job of being a wife and a mother, but you actually reach out to the community beyond there, and you do an amazing job. So thank you for the News Karnataka for giving us that platform. And that would be, yeah.
I think if you had not done this, you would have felt that I missed something.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yes, sure. And coming back to Shanti, what's your call to support News Karnataka, and why?
Well, I sincerely hope I am able to convert at least 2 people to share my theme of believer in sharing blessings. Not more, at least 2 people. And hope they continue the chain onwards after sharing my experience. Few years later, if I do hear these two words mentioned somewhere or anywhere, we'll thank Karnataka News for the opportunity given today. Karnataka News does this noble work of getting people, tell your humble stories to many, and doing the good deed for the day. So I don't request, rather I would say I urge you to spread out the word, that to let people know that and believe that, sharing blessings is the only thing where you can thank people, where you can give back to the world, where you can give back to society. So this is what I want to do. I just want to reach out to people to say that how fortunate we are in the least that we have. And we should always be thankful to God for this.
Yes, wonderfully put, because we should not say how lucky I am, and we always should say how blessed I am, and I would like to share my blessings so that blessings will be multiplied. All right, so let's go to Meena, and same question. What is your call to support News Karnataka and why?
In the nowadays times, I think the most strongest weapon is media. And News Karnataka plays a huge role in shaping all the public opinion and to bring about awareness on different issues. And as I think I had heard Valerian say, News Karnataka gives voice to the voiceless. So here for a special needs community, I feel News Karnataka is giving a voice for us to, raise awareness, this platform to bring about a change in the mentality of people. When you had invited us as a parent of a special need, many parents might be, inspired by this, that it is nothing to be ashamed about. It's nothing, it's not a subject to be ashamed of. You need not hide at home. You have to come forward and say that, yes, my child is special. We are a special needs community. And that's the voice which News Karnataka has provided us. And we hope you will share more and more about this platform with more of our family members, platforms, especially with the special needs community. Because as you have promised us that you will become the voice for us all.
Sure. We are the voice for the voiceless for the last 7 years, and we are continuing to do that irrespective of what might come on our way. And I urge you, Meena, to go out and see that what you are doing is getting support from the people, especially our malls which you have taken up do not have the washrooms and the things like that in the public parks and many places where the facilities need to be guaranteed for our special needs children. This is also a cause very dear to us, and I hope you will take up the steps with your 55 families coming together as part of a social awareness program, that they are also part of our society and they need special care because they are special needs children. So with this, I thank you, all of you, Viviana, Meena, and Shanti, for coming and sharing your life experiences with us and how you have come up with your experiences and showcase to the world that homemaking is not a simple thing, but it is a very, very professional, and how you can convert this world to live as a better place. And hats off to you. And thank you, viewers, for watching this live show with three special women today, Bibiana, Meena, and Shanti. And we will bring more such stories to you in the time to come and support people, because we are a people's corporate. Thank you once again, Bibiana, Meena, and Shanti.
Before we conclude, I think so our viewers should share this to each and every one of your family and friends. This is the biggest thing which you can do for us. See our video, share it, subscribe it, like it. Only then this word is going to spread. This is especially for our viewers and especially for all the guests who are with us.
Yeah, thank you, and good night. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.